What's up guys, Coverage Genius here, back again with another video, and today is Friday, September 25th, 2020. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time here on my channel, please take a look around, and if you can do me a favor, please smash the like button and hit subscribe. And if you've been here before, well, you know what? Welcome back. So today's Friday. We talk about wrap-ups, but you know what? Today I wanted to do something special. I wanted to kind of film a actual call with a prospective client to see whether or not I can sell them on home insurance. And so they reached out to me yesterday and I spoke to them. I got some discovery information and did my research, and now today I'm about to give them a call back to kind of go over what I've discovered, what I found, and then hopefully be able to close the deal. All right, so I'm going to take you along with me. This might be a long video, but because usually my calls last at least up to 30-40 minutes. So get a nice drink, maybe some snacks, and kick back and relax while I go about with this call. And maybe I can close, maybe not, but you know what? The only way we'll figure out is if you watch this video, okay? And it'll be great for me as well to kind of just see what I look like and what I sound like when I'm actually going through a call, like having that out-of-body experience to kind of later on analyze my process, because my process is probably not perfect. My speech is probably not perfect, but it's always good to kind of review and see how things go and see if there are any improvements, which there are probably many, that I can make into my process. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give this gentleman a call, and then let's see where it goes. All right. Okay, here goes nothing. Hi Timothy, this is
Coverage Genius, your insurance guy.
Hey, how are you? How's your morning going? Oh, what kind of work do you do? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, okay. So you're doing a lot of like Audible is like a lot of those authors or book readers, right? Audiobooks. Okay. So like, do you get stuff that's already recorded and then you have to kind of like put in like other sounds and kind of make the sound quality really great? Or do you do like that whole process? Okay. Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Where do you, I know everything, you know, because of COVID, everything is done at home, but where's this, where's the studio? Is like, is that in the city? Oh, okay. So how do you like it though? Do you like being home or? Sure. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's getting a little cooler. The fall weather is approaching. I mean, today's going to be hot, but I think this is like the last warm few days, and then next week I heard it's supposed to get cooler. But I mean, like you're by Overpeck Park, so you can always, take a break and walk around. That's a nice park over there. All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and Cresco's a nice area too. So they've got it's a nice area, and Closter's by there too, and they've got some good shopping, like a nice shopping strip mall over there with Whole Foods and stuff. So that's always a good thing. Yeah. All right. So I was doing some research, okay, and wanted to kind of just touch base with you today to present to you my findings. All right. And so the company I am going to recommend to you today is MetLife. Have you heard of that company before? Yeah, MetLife. We got MetLife Stadium, right? Oh my God, we're getting rocked. I mean, it's already over, I think, right? This season. I mean, Saquon's gone, and oh man, it's just. Oh my God, I mean, and I don't know if you follow them on Facebook, but they put these positive posts and all this type of stuff, and it's just all right, but when are we gonna just win one, right? That's what I posted the other day. I'm like, can we just win one game? I mean, come on, it's just ridiculous. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this weekend, but. All right, let's get back to the more important stuff of insurance and your home. Okay, so MetLife, they're a really good company. They focus a lot on premier homes, but so sometimes the pricing actually comes out higher than usual for normal type homes, like your type of home. But that being said, they actually came out with the better pricing out of all my carriers, which was actually pretty good. So what I'm going to review first is the auto, okay? Just because, we talked about, towards the end of the conversation yesterday that you don't mind switching from Geico. And so I want to create a package deal for you so that you can get the most discounts that are available. Okay, so if we start with the auto, it's just you and your wife who are the drivers, correct? And you have one vehicle, which is the 2020 Palisade. Is that correct? Okay, how's that car, by the way? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hesitant a little. Uh-huh. Oh. Wow. I heard it was really hard to get though. I'm surprised you were able to get one. Okay. Oh wow. Uh-huh. Did you check out the Kia Telluride? Because it's similar. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a nice car. Okay. Oh my gosh. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a nice car, man. It's definitely a nice car. Did you finance it or did you lease it? Oh, okay. Like in full? There's no payments? Okay. Okay. Ah, okay. Okay, okay. And then like I noticed on like the guy on the Geico deck page, there were like other drivers, and you told me to like not to quote them or add them onto the policy. Are these like your in-laws or who are like these? Okay. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. 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 Great. Great. All right. Cool. So, I was looking at your Geico deck pages that you sent me, and thank you for by the way, for sending me those and your driver's licenses very quickly. So I really appreciate that. Just going over the coverages that you have, like, do you know what the coverages mean, by chance? Okay, yeah. It's always good to know like what type of coverages that you have and what you're protected for. Okay, so just let me know when you have it open and you can look. We can look at it. Okay, so let's go through it real quick. Okay, the first coverage that's listed there is bodily injury liability. Each person, each occurrence. Okay, so. What that means, you have like the 50,000 / 100,000. Okay, so what that means is basically if you were to get into an accident and it was deemed your fault or your wife's fault, and the other party was injured, you're covered each person 50,000 up to $100,000 as your limit. Okay, so let's say insurance is always for worst case scenario, right? What if the worst thing happens? I want to be protected, right? We always have to think of it that way. So let's say, you're driving around on Fort Lee Road or wherever it is, and there are crazy drivers everywhere these days. And for some reason you get into an accident with like a Mercedes-Benz and there's a family of 4 in there, right? So for the bodily injury, it only covers 50,000 per person and 100,000 per occurrence, but there's a family of 4. So would I say this is good coverage? I would say absolutely not. This is really not good coverage at all. And it opens you up to liability, all right? The state minimum in New Jersey is 15,000, 30,000, which I never ever recommend. I really recommend like the highest, considering the budget, the highest amount of coverage that you can get, okay? So that's bodily injury and liability. Property damage liability refers to the property that's damaged. So like in that scenario, like the other person's car, right? So would $50,000 cover if the other car was deemed a total loss, right? And it was like an expensive car? Probably not. Maybe it would be if it was like a Honda, right? But any other type of car, no, it might expose you, right? You might have a gap there. Okay, so that's another thing. Residual medical payments refers to just medical payments. You're covered up to 10,000. I believe 10,000 here is usually the maximum that's offered by insurance, so that's okay. The next biggest, let's skip PIP for a second and go to the uninsured and underinsured motorists, okay? So many times like that bodily injury liability and the uninsured, underinsured, they match it, like the insurance companies match it, okay? The uninsured, underinsured covers you. Let's say, for example, in that accident, it was deemed the other party's fault, and you and your wife, and do you have kids? Okay, not yet. So like in the future, you have kids, and they were injured, right? You guys were injured. And their insurance was not enough to cover your injury. This is when the uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage would apply. And it's the same concept, each person $50,000 up to each occurrence. So from that, and then, you know, your Palisade, you know, this 25, if it was deemed a total loss, that 25,000 would not cover it at all, right? If they had low coverage. So you can see how this is, you know, you don't want this coverage to be low because it's your family, right? You want to protect your family as much as possible in the case if you guys were to get hurt, okay? Let's go back up to PIP. PIP is personal injury protection, and that's mandatory in the state of New Jersey. And it starts at $15,000 with a $2,500 deductible. Right here, you have like the lowest coverage. So this applies if, let's say, for example, you get injured in an accident and you need care right away. This would apply. Like you go to the hospital and there's the fee of like the ambulance fee and the emergency fee that the hospital charges. That can be very expensive. You have only $15,000 here. So, and it only applies to medical expense. It doesn't apply to, let's say, other things like, for example, like something that's may affect like your work, all right, or your life, right? It only applies to the medical portion. So that being said, you want to get the PIP to be as high as possible. The maximum in New Jersey is $250,000 with a $250 deductible. Okay, so that's usually what I always recommend. And then you have the comp and collision, which is $500. That's pretty good. That's comprehensive coverage applies to, let's say, if like a tree hits your car, right? It's not from a collision, but like something else. Maybe like you hit a deer or like some rock hits your windshield or whatever it is. This is going to apply, okay? 500 is usually what most people have. That's what I have. It can go up to 1,000 or even more, but I would say $500 is good because that's your responsibility, right? If you get hit by a bumper and the bumper, you need to fix the bumper. Bumper could be like $1,500. If you have a high deductible, then is it worth you paying that, right? The deductible rather than paying yourself. So those are type of things that you always want to consider. A lower deductible is very good though. Emergency roadside service, you have full here. You might have that for the first 3 years with Hyundai. I'm not sure, so I mean, it's a low cost, so it doesn't really matter. Rental reimbursement applies like if your car has to be fixed due to an accident. Well, you're given up to $30 per day to rent a car for 30 days, and that's what the $900 max is, okay? And then mechanical breakdown is more specific to like something that happens to your car for mechanical reasons and it breaks down and you need to make a repair, okay? So here, when we look at it, you know, Geico only does 6-month policies, okay? And here you're paying like $14.58 for, you know, 4 drivers, primarily you and your wife, and for the car. You know, it's a 2020 Hyundai, so it's a newer car, so insurance is going to be a little more, right, than like an older car. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I quoted you, because I usually when I quote, I place myself in my client's shoes and just say like, how would I want to be covered for myself and to protect myself and my family, right? So let's go back to the bodily injury. So bodily injury here, you have 50,000, 100,000. I gave you 250,000, 500,000, okay? Because you know, I mean, you need to protect you and your wife, right? I mean, you guys are the most important people in your household, and if something were to happen, you guys were to get injured, we want you to get care without having to like go through all the craziness, right? We want this care to be available to you. And medical care is very expensive. So I chose, this is not the highest they offer, but it's pretty up there. Like one step higher would probably be an extra 25 bucks, which would be 500,000 a million. All right. So, but I just did 250, 500 because that's usually where I start with my clients. Okay. And then the property damage here, I put it at 100,000. Okay. Because I think most cars are under 100,000, right? That you see on the road. So I think that's a better place to be than the 50. Okay. And then the same for underinsured, uninsured, we got 250, 500,000. We've got the underinsured, uninsured property damage at 100,000. Those are lower costs. So, bumping it up to double from 50 to 100 is actually not a big increase. And then for the personal injury protection, PIP medical expense, I quoted you at 250,000 with the 250 deductible. Okay. The comp and collision deductibles are 500 each. You got towing, you got the rental car, $40 a day for 30 days. So that's how I charged you, how I rated you. Okay. When I ran the motor vehicle reports for you and your wife, some history did pop up. Okay. Yeah, so she has one speeding ticket that comes up here from 2015. Okay, so usually insurance companies look back like 5 years and then they kind of rate you. Some go like a little more. So this violation is probably rating a little bit. Okay, it did happen in 2015, so probably next year it'll probably not be rated. But as of right now, it shows here. It happened in July and she was speeding 16 to 20 miles over the limit. Okay, so she got one violation there. And then she also had an accident last March in 2019. It looks like there was like an at-fault accident that she had. And the claim wasn't that much, but it was about like 1,800 bucks. Okay. And then for you, two things popped up. Last year March, you had some maybe hail damage. I don't know if that's correct, and maybe you had a claim for that. And then also in the prior year in 2018. So these are the things that kind of pop up on this motor vehicle report, that loss history. So this is how MetLife is rating you. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so it might be like some small comp claim or something that you had. Maybe it was something else, but those two are popping up. So when the motor vehicle reports, like some carriers, some things pop up and some things don't pop up, right? So carriers use different companies to do the motor vehicle report, which like I pay for to get. And then MetLife, with their company that they use, this is what came up. So you can't really argue it because this is on your history file. It's like it's like a national database. So that's what's coming up. All right. But given like that and all the coverage that I'm giving you, it sounds pretty good, right? The coverage is sounds actually much better. It's like 5 times better than what you have right now with Geico. Okay, and with Geico you're paying like $14.58. Well, with MetLife, if we, with all the discounts that are applied when you do the home and auto, it's actually coming out to the year at $21.69. So it's not a 6-month policy, it's actually a 1-year policy. So if we just do like Geico, right, times 2, that's $29.16. You're still like almost $700-800 less with MetLife, with all like that prior history and 5 times more coverage. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like this is the way to go. And let's say, for example, if I raise the coverage bodily injury to, let's say, 500 to $1 million, just to see kind of like how much that increases the price. It goes to 24. It goes to 24.12. So it went up like maybe I said, what did I say? 21 something, right? So 2169 or something like that. So it went up like about $200, $250, you know, a little bit like that. But you're getting double what I originally just what I said to you. So what you need to think is it worth getting that? And the reason why it's important to get higher numbers is because you are now becoming a homeowner, right? So if something were to really happen and you were to get sued, right? If your auto insurance doesn't cover you, where will the injured party go after? What would they go after? They will go after, your assets, like your home and also your wages and your wife's wages, right? Those are the three main things that are part of like your financial, wealth, right? So does it make sense to pay like a couple $100 more to get like $500,000, $1 million coverage? Like it's a couple $100 for the year, so it really comes out to, let's say it's $250, divide that by 12, that's an extra $21 like a month. Is it worth it to get that much coverage and be kind of like just really relaxed and not worrying about having enough coverage to protect you? In my opinion, in my honest opinion, yes, I think it is. I'm not gonna push you to get it though, because that's not how it works. But I just want you to have the most information possible so you can make the best decision. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I want you and your your wife, Ashley, which is a nice name, by the way. I really like that name. I want you guys to be yeah. But you chose her, right? You have her, so now you two are one. So that's good. You want to protect your wife, right? And eventually, I'm sure you're going to have kids, right? I mean, that's probably in the future, sometime sooner than later, right? And that's even more precious, right? You want to protect your family. So, is it worth it? Yes. Do you want to change it later? Can you change it later? Yes. Do you need to get it now? I don't know. If I like a lot of people, when I talk to them, they try to save money on insurance, right? And I'm like, why? Because this is your protection for you and your loved ones. This is like the most important thing. I'd rather try to save money on like my monthly internet bill or like my monthly like cell phone bill, right? Things that really don't really matter, right? Like I don't need Netflix like every month, right? Which is like $12, right? I'd rather get this more coverage and be kind of like comfortable about like my family, right? I mean, that's how I think. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right. Per accident. It's per incident. And that's right. So if it were to go over 500,000, you're that gap, that's your responsibility. Yeah, liable. That's what you have to cover. Yeah. And MetLife, what they do is they offer like a million. Like this is one of the few companies, because earlier I told you they target more like premium clients, right? Like a lot of like I write a lot of my clients who have like 1 million plus homes with MetLife, because they target like 1.5, 2 million cap like for homes. So those are expensive homes, and those people have like a lot of expensive cars, right? And they have a lot of wealth too, right? They might have a business, they might have other things, right? So we want to protect them. So, I mean, 250 and 500,000, right? Here's what I would recommend to you is, you can keep the 250 and 500,000 and maybe get an umbrella policy, because when you have 250,000, 500,000, that opens up, you are now eligible to get an umbrella. So an umbrella is like excess liability, and it starts at 1 million, and it's like $300 for the year. So, I mean, you can up this bodily injury to 500,000 or $1 million and get an additional, umbrella. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can adjust, the coverages to make it make more sense to you. But like, I'm not going to push you on it. I just want you to know that there are some options there. Okay, cool. Sure. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. All right, so that's auto. Let's get to the home now, all right? So home, okay? I did get some of that property information from you, and then I'm also actually a licensed realtor as well, although I don't do it as much. I only do it for my clients who need it. So with home insurance, every insurance company, the reason why I asked you all those questions is because they have their own systems in place to create what the value of your home is going to be, right? So that's why I asked you how many rooms, how many bathrooms, what type of flooring you have, because all those factors create what the value of your dwelling would be if there was a total loss, all right? So let me go through some of the coverages with you, like I did with auto, with regards to the coverages that insurance companies give to you, okay? And you can just consider the coverages like A, B, C, D, and E, okay? It's very simple. So coverage A, okay? Coverage A refers to dwelling, okay? Your dwelling coverage. Basically, if your house were to be total loss, burned down, what would the insurance company pay to you to cover, to rebuild your home to a similar or better situation than you were before, okay? So with that being said, I put in all the figures and it came out to around like $410,000. And then I was able to get in touch through email with your loan officer and his team, and they were able to. They came back to me and said the dwelling, like your mortgage is 412,000. So the dwelling has to be at 412. So we're actually kind of close to it anyway. So that's actually not bad. Okay. All right. So with that being said, okay, let's go then to coverage B. Coverage B refers to other structures, okay? And so usually coverage B, coverage C, those types of coverages are automatically, the dollar amount is all automatically created by the insurance company. It's based on like your dwelling coverage that you get, okay? So coverage B is for private structures. So let's say yesterday you said you had a shed, right? It probably doesn't cost a lot to rebuild that shed if it were to be destroyed, but they're giving you $103,000. That's just part of their formula. It's nothing that I can change. That's just like the number of value that's included, okay? And then coverage C refers to personal property. So anything that's tangible, like your furniture, clothing, your computers up to a certain amount of money, your appliances, those are included in personal property anywhere in the world, okay? So even if you go traveling and let's say, for example, your suitcase got stolen and you had some stuff in there, you can file a claim for it and that would be covered. MetLife is giving you up to $309,000, which I think is probably more than enough to cover you and your wife's personal property. But that's the value that's included, okay? Coverage D, yeah, 309K. So that's a lot. I personally don't own $309,000 worth of personal property. So, I mean, Yeah, so that's enough. But like maybe some of your gear, right? Like you said, you do sound recording. So maybe you have a mixer, maybe you have like, a soundboard, right? I mean, those are pretty, and someone came in and stole it, right? Or it was destroyed in a fire or something like that. You're covered. Because you had that, all right? All right, and coverage D is loss of use. So loss of use applies if your house were destroyed and you have to live somewhere else for a certain period of time. That's when a loss of use applies. The insurance company will pay, like say you have to live in a hotel for 30 days, or you have to move and live somewhere for 6 months, and the loss of use would cover that rent or that cost, okay? And with MetLife, they give you like actual loss sustained with a time limit. So that basically means if you're doing 6 months, usually they give you 1 year, up to 1 year. But say you do 6 months, you just basically need to have the receipts, right? And then you submit that in when you file a claim, and then you'll get reimbursed for that, okay? Next coverage is coverage F, okay, which is actually one of the most important coverages. This is called liability coverage, personal liability. So if someone were to get injured, not from the auto accident, but from some other instance, right, where maybe you or your family members created some sort of like, you were liable for some sort of personal harm or whatever it is, by an accident or whatever it is, this portion would cover you, okay? And what's great about MetLife is they actually give you up to $1 million in coverage for that. Usually insurance companies give you like 500,000 as their maximum limit, but MetLife gives you $1 million. So I gave you $1 million because the price difference between $1 million and 500,000 is like 20 bucks. It's worth paying extra 20 to get another 500,000, okay? Medical, they go up to 10,000. Medical covers any type of medical injury, like if you have a guest that comes over and they trip on carpet, they injure themselves, you're covered up to 10,000. 10,000 is usually the max, okay? And then the final thing, that covers like an injury. Let's say, for example, someone was at your house, you had guests over and they tripped on like a carpet and they hurt their leg, right? They're spraining their ankle, they have to go to the hospital and they want to file a claim against you. Well, you're covered up to $10,000 with regards to that type of like medical, it's called medical payments to others, coverage G. You're covered up to, 10,000, and 10,000 is the maximum that home insurance offers for that coverage. So I just gave you the max, okay? And then the last final thing is the deductible. And the deductible is, it ranges from like 100 to 10,000. I usually put the deductible at 1,000 for home insurance. That's usually where what people want. Some people want 500, but I quoted you at 1,000. The lower the deductible that you have, the higher the premium is going to be, right? Because they have to pay more. So I think I would recommend just keeping it at 1,000, because most times, let's say, for example, if you do have some sort of, let's say, flood or like water damage, right? Something backs up from the sewer or whatever it may be, $1,000. Usually that type of fix will be in the $5,000-$10,000 range. $1,000 I think is fine. But if you have something minor, right, you don't want to file claims for minor things, right? Because you should just pay out of pocket, because every time you file a claim, that's going to be recorded on your history, and then it's going to rate on you upon renewal. And all the insurance companies are going to have that, see your claims history. So with that being said, there's also another coverage that I added that I 100% always recommend. It's the water backup. So any backup from sewer, drain, sump pump, especially since your basement is is finished and it has some carpet down there, and I'm sure you're gonna make that like a nice entertainment room or something, right, in the future. Where does water go? Water goes to the lowest part of the house. And if you have a nice TV down there, or nice furniture, or nice sofas or whatever, like it can get it can get very costly. So I added like $25,000 to as coverage, additional coverage to the policy, and that only adds $28 for the year with MetLife, which is like amazing. So it's, yeah, it sounds great. Yeah. So overall, when I give these coverages, and what's great about MetLife too is they actually have a blanket property limit. So they actually double your dwelling coverage A, because this product type that you're getting is called Grand Protect Homeowners, and this is the only type of policies that I can write with MetLife. They're giving you actually double. So instead of $412, they're giving you $824,000 to cover your dwelling, your private structures, and your personal property as that blanket. So I mean, it's actually very nice coverage that you're getting here, because a lot of other places. $24,000. Rebuild your house, buy back any personal properties that you need. If your shed burned down, you can build another shed. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like what's good is it's not separated. That's the thing, right? So like, let's say for example, it caught like the, to build back your house. Like, I would never want this to happen to you, but let's think worst case scenario, right? You want to build back the house, and it's going to cost $500,000-$600,000, right? Because like value of materials goes up, and you're going to put in new stuff or whatever. Well, you're covered. You have no issues whatsoever because you have $824,000, and you don't have $309,000 worth of personal property, right? You probably will have $50,000 to $100,000, right? Maybe more, but like not 309. So like, because it's added all together into this what they call blanket property limit, like you will be perfectly fine. Like, yeah, it would really suck that you lost everything, right? But you will be covered, right? You'll be put back into a better situation. Yeah. Yeah. Usually they are separate. So when you see insurance, you'll see coverage A, this amount, that's the limit. Coverage B is this amount, that's the limit. But with MetLife, they wrap it all together and they call it a blanket property limit. Yeah. So that they add A, B, and C into one thing. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Correct. Okay. All right. So, with that, with all those coverages, like your annual premium is only $914 for the year, which is like, it's like nothing really. It's like, let me tell you, it's like when I quoted this yesterday and I was working on it last night, and I was like, all right, I need to find Timothy some really good stuff. And when I saw MetLife coming up with like these numbers, I was like, oh my God, yeah, it's just, you kind of lucked out in the sense that you're getting really great coverages. Yeah, I was like, all right, we're gonna get this for Tim, because like there's no way like you can get this type of coverage like anywhere else. Like, I'm beating Geico, like for sure. And like, I mean, and MetLife is such a strong company that it's like right now it's amazing. And look, like some insurance homeowners like insurance, they will give you 2 separate deductibles. They'll give you one deductible for like perils, but then they'll do a separate deductible for hurricane, which they would place at like 1% or something like that. And 1% of dwelling. So think about like if your dwelling was 412 and it's 1%, how much is that? That's a lot of money, right? So that's $4,100 that you would have to pay if your home was damaged by hurricane. And it's quite possible because a few years ago we had Sandy, right? We had some hurricanes come by, create damage, tree fell on your house or destroyed the roof. Well, if you want to file a claim, it was due to a hurricane, your deductible is not $1,000, it's $4,120 that you have to pay, right? So here with MetLife, I gave you straight deductibles for all perils for $1,000, which is, which is awesome. A lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, well, why is my premium cheaper or whatever? It's because you have a 1 or 2% deductible for hurricane. That's why. And you want to be in that situation when a hurricane does come by, because it can happen. Sure. Okay. 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 Right. Okay, so basically what happens is after, let's say we submit this policy for binding and it's issued, the insurance company sends out a person to kind of do an outside inspection of the home. Sometimes they even go in the house, but due to COVID, some people, they don't do that. Some companies don't do that, okay? So they might come and say, look, we see these trees, you gotta cut them, right? Or else we won't offer you the policy. So my suggestion is if you see some sort of hanging branches, right, I would hurry up and just call a tree service company just to get those removed, because you don't want that literally hanging over your head of something happening, right? Because if you have no roof, you're in big trouble, right? If it rains, everything is going to get destroyed. So there are some upkeep things that you have to do as that are part of your responsibility as a homeowner. Like how new is the roof, right? Usually a roof lasts for 25 years, right? So if your roof is in poor condition, then the insurance company finds out, they will cancel you, or they will say you have to fix the roof. I have one client who we did a policy. She said everything was fine. They sent someone out and they're like, she has to get a new roof, and they were going to cancel her. Fortunately, we saved it, right? I told her, look, you have to get, a new roof. And she was like, well, can you check with another insurance company? I'm like, no, all the insurance companies are going to say you need a new roof. Why won't you get a new roof anyway? This is your most valuable asset. Don't you want to protect it and everything and everybody inside? You need to pay money to get a new roof, okay? You cannot escape this. It's a little big of a cost, but you have to do it. And preventive maintenance now, right, is gonna lead to a longer life of the actual, say, roof, right? Because if you don't take care of the outside, right, let's say you have pests, or let's say you have overgrown trees, or let's say you don't, mow the lawn or clean, it can lead to more trouble later on. So yeah, definitely, if you see those branches or trees, I would just find a reputable tree service company and, take the hit, pay, I don't know how much it costs. Yeah, you would be covered. You just have to file a claim and then pay your deductible. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The largest discount is the auto home, which is applied to both auto and home. There are some other discounts like security discount, like alarm discount, right? which, you know, if you have a alarm system in your house that's central alarm monitored, 24-hour monitoring, then you'll get a little discount there. It's not that big of a discount, but it's a security system, right? So it's good to protect everyone and everything that you have. I do work with a company that actually, if you want or need some help with later on, they will help you free of charge to help you set up, like give you guidance with setting up like the utilities and all that type of thing. And they will also talk to you about like a security system to set up. It's a very good company, and they've helped out a lot of my clients set up even like video like cameras and stuff like that if you're interested. But with yeah. I know. Oh yeah, sure, for sure. I mean, you have like so many things going on, and you're probably going crazy right now. But the most important thing is, you know, like, you know, you do have like little discounts added to your auto because it's like, you know, anti-theft. You have the airbag, anti-lock brakes. You have those type of discounts that are applied. Let's see here for the home. I mean, the home policy plus, like, that's the biggest discount. It's a 20% discount. Like, there's no other discount that's larger than that. So you're getting like a 20% discount applied to your auto and your home. So yeah, it's okay. All right, cool. So let me just see here. All right, let me just check here to see what it is that we need. All right. Did you want to also maybe me talk a little bit about the umbrella, just so that you can get an idea? Okay. All right, let me see here. All right. You know, all these insurance companies, they all have different systems, and some of these systems are like antiquated. So it makes it hard sometimes to navigate. So let me see here if I can do. All right, so let me work on this for a little bit. I don't want to keep you on the phone because I think I have to navigate through certain things. But can I touch base with you maybe within like the hour or so, just so that I can finalize everything? All right, sounds good. All right, I'll give you a call in a little bit then. All right, thanks, Dave. Okay, all right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, guys, well, that was the call. It looks like it went over 55 minutes. But that's usually what I go through through a call. I explain all the coverages. I make sure the prospective client knows what they're getting into, and answer any questions that they have. This looks like it's going to be a successful sale. It looks like we're going to get not only a home, but also the auto and possibly the umbrella. So that's how it goes, and that's what I do throughout the day. If you have any questions about this process or just curious about everything, please feel free to leave a comment below in the video. Ask me a question. If you like this video and you stayed till the end, well, you know what? Kudos to you. You deserve an award. Please smash the like button if you liked that I was able to close. Or just smash it because you like to support my channel, and it would be great also if you could subscribe. All right, well, that's it for today's video for Friday. I think this is good enough of a video, but I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, a productive weekend. I think it's a great time in the Northeast to get yourself out because it will be a nice weather, weather-filled weekend. So go out, do some apple picking, do some things. Fall is around the corner. Actually, today is fall, I believe. Today is the first day of fall, I think. But get out there, enjoy yourselves, and get ready for Monday. All right? I'll see you guys then. Take care. Peace.